Hello YouTubers, I thought I'd do a little video on physical media. Now if you're not new around here, you're used to me recording on my tapes and talking about my music collection, both cassette and vinyl more so. One of the great albums here, one of my favourites, one of the classics. But yeah, I thought I'd talk about it because it's obviously been in the news recently. A few things are happening with the one, Disney announcing that they're going to stop doing physical releases. I'm not sure if that's in their across their entire sort of thing that they make, or just a few things. But you can see a lot of companies going this way. It's been obviously going for a while with the whole push on subscription only, and you can only watch this day one on here, and then you've got the other side of things, which I commented recently on about with my Apple Music situation, with music that I'd physically purchased online that's just being removed from the archive, and there's no way of me re-downloading those things, and I've spoken to them about it. There was a few things that had then been re-released on the system for being able to play, but they were no longer available for me to download and access in the way that they should be when you're physically paying to own something. But that is the harsh reality of the whole situation we've got ourselves into, with this pay forevermore money to the companies to have access to things, rather than you going to a shop in the old days and the old ways of just picking something up in the hand, like a vinyl album, taking it home and you owning it and it's yours. And if you want to get rid of it, you can get rid of it and you can sell it on, or you can give it to somebody, but you physically own it. If that music company disappears, it doesn't disappear from your collection. But yeah, you've got that's happened with the news. Game have now announced they're not doing second-hand games. I personally haven't used them in a good few years anyway. The prices are always pretty high on a lot of things, but I mean, as prices go, generally probably about usual, but I haven't used them in the last few years anyway. But the concerning thing with that is, of course, the people not only won't have the ability to sell on those games. A lot of people, like my friend Ben, likes to buy a game, play it, and if he doesn't want to keep it for his collection, if you sell it soon enough, he can get a good return on it, and then he can put that towards another game. But this really, well, it stops that. That stops your ability to do that. And as consumers, we just seem to be walking into this thing sort of blindfolded into a situation where we're just happy to give companies forevermore money for stuff we don't physically own. So I mean, I have bought more films more recently, the ones that I really like. So I have a 4K Blu-ray or whatever Blu-ray copy of it, DVD, what have you, whatever's available of those particular films, like Halloween collection, the new ones. I've got the 2018, the continuation of the original from the 70s. Those free, and I own those in 4K, and they're mine, and they won't be going anywhere. But yeah, on the one hand, that, say, the situation with Game of them saying they're not going to take in games anymore and sell on. Obviously, you never got too much with them, unless, as you say, you bought it and you sold it very quickly and you get a good sort of reasonable return. But that market's just going to be dead. Those people that have bought those games potentially won't buy them, which then have a further knock-on thing on the physical, because people are going to, well, what's the point of me buying a game if I can't return it or sell it on? So it's catch-22 really. And then, yeah, we're in this situation. But I thought I'd just do a video on it because it is really concerning. It also doesn't tally with what's happened with sales as well. You'd think, okay, well, if the consumer market is completely dead and nobody's buying these physical things anymore, then I can understand they're only going to make where there's supply, right? If there's no supply, no demand even, they're not going to produce the bloody thing. But vinyl have outsold CDs for a good few years now. Cassettes have certainly made a comeback as well. Really, there was a knock-on effect of the boost of that was that film, Guardians of the Galaxy, the original. I've got a couple of the albums. I haven't got the third. I've got the first two. Probably picked up at some point. But it's a bit weird that we've sort of had this rise up, and younger people are now picking up vinyl. I follow this girl who's a photographer, and she's into a vinyl, and she just does it on sort of thrift shopping and stuff, which a lot of people do at vinyl. You don't always have to buy them brand new. It's just I did when I started my collection back in 2017, 2018. This is one of the albums I thought, you know, I'm going to pay for it, get a brand new copy, and there you go. So I've got that and the second album. But yeah, just I think there should be more of an outrage rate. I think there should be more media coverage of it, because it's been, you know, okay, I've heard about these things, but yeah, the things with games disappearing as well, with the Sony situation, their TV shows, and their company response was very typical for Sony, because they always are basically no refunds, no blah blah blah. Their announcement, very short, bluntly, was when you buy things, you're renting them. You don't own them. You're paying Sony to rent that game. You don't own it. And if they have a problem with that company later down the line, or whatever happens legally with them and some provider, they can just pull that from you, and you've got no recourse. You can't ask for a refund. You're not going to get it, because it's A, it's Sony, and B, it's just not going to happen, because there'll be a catch in the clause there, which will be licensing every something, probably around sort of, in that case with games in particular, there's probably a sort of grace period with that. But you know, it shouldn't be the case. If you buy a game, you should bloody own the thing. And originally when digital came out, I was still buying physical more often than not, but then it started to being, oh, if you do it digitally, you get this as benefits. And back when I was younger, and I just thought, yeah, that's great, but it's not, because those things disappear, and now we're here in this situation. But yeah, I thought I'd just do a video on it, mainly because obviously this is my, you know, my interest of the physical stuff, the older technology. But yeah, it just seems a bizarre situation with vinyl sales being on the increase, and cassettes as well, and yet all these companies are quite, well, it's an obvious push, especially with the Disney. I mean, if you can't understand why Disney would want to stop doing physical media, then, you know, they're pushing hard. They're a money machine, and they want everyone to pay them for Disney Plus. As soon as I heard even with the price increase, they've done it twice now, I think. When they did it originally, I was like, fuck it off, and I got rid of it. And then, you know, unless there's a show I particularly want to watch at some point, I'll pay for the monthly and cancel it. I'm not going to constantly pay you monthly for stuff that I've already seen. And if it's very good, I'll buy it some way. But that's so that with Disney anyway is going to be the case. You can't. So yeah, not great in any way, shape or form. But yeah, it does just sort of wind me up that there is, obviously we're hearing about it, but there isn't really a backlash that there should massively be in a situation where we can't buy things physically, and we're just asked as consumers to just keep paying monthly. It's not going to happen. Piracy is already increasing due to this, and quite rightly, frankly. If you're going to make it that it's just stream only for everything, people will find a way, and they easily do. They used to. They had a sweet time, things like Spotify, when that came out, that was a sweet thing. Everyone moved to, like, no one used to download albums anymore. Access is there, instant. It worked really well, it was a reasonable price, but with everything being price hiked, you're just like, nah, I'm alright. I'll just wait for a good album that I want, and I'll find a copy of it. Done. But yeah, sort of watch your space really, and see how it progresses. But certainly not in a good situation with it at all. But yeah, hope you're having a good day. I appreciate this is a bit of a negative video, but it fits my mood today because my back is horrendous. Really shouldn't be sitting on the floor, admittedly, but I was doing another video which has either come before this or after it, which is my vinyl collection, which I'm probably going to have to I've split it into two because it's going to be a lengthy one, even though it's all in there. In that case, there's quite a few, and I'd like to showcase them properly. So, bye for now. See you again soon.